I am not a fan of horror games. Not because I don't find them interesting, nor because they don't entertain me, but because they work on me.
I heard like a oh, Jesus.
I am, admittedly, very easy to scare. Just turn the brightness down, make a spooky creature lunge at the screen and play a loud sound. You'll have me jumping in my seat and making squeals in no time. This is why I usually watch others play through horror games. It creates a sense of comfort, a sort of a wall to distance myself from the scary things on my screen. And if I ever feel like it's getting too much, I can just scroll down into the comment section and hide. But even when I do, I still make sure to see just the very bottom of the video. Like covering up eyes with your hands, you still peek through just a bit. This is what my relationship with horror was for the biggest part of my life. I peek in, but never let it get too much. The very same way I learned about frictional games and their creations. The Amnesia series, Soma, and not too far ago Penumbra. Penumbra? I'm not sure how to read it. Soma I even played, but never finished. It was too much for my 14-year-old brain at the time. When Bunker, their fourth entry in the Amnesia series, came out, I didn't give it much thought at all. I knew it was out, I saw itsy bits of gameplay here and there, but didn't have the time nor wanted to give it a go. However, this year things changed. I began trying my hand at horror games for once, and Amnesia Bunker, taking place during the Great War, you know, only one of my favorite settings, offered seemingly what I wanted. So, pretty much blind and unaware of what's to come, I've jumped into the bunker. Little did I know, I was about to stumble into the most terrifying piece of media I have encountered in the past years. This video isn't exactly a review of the game. Instead, it's more of a look at things I love about it, and reasons why it's so great. Or in other words, just straight up glazing it. If you want a review, then, well, it's great. Go play it now, please. I can't stress it enough. The game is only 35 gigs, it runs on decade-old PCs, you saw the montage, you know it's cool, go have fun. Generally, the first thing you see when playing a game is its visuals. Duh. Portraying World War I in media was always about showing a grimy, unforgiving picture. Constant artillery and gunfire, large trench lines, young men looking broken, brutal onslaughts, and mud. The small section that the game uses as a tutorial has the player crawling through the trenches. We see corpses, some have their heads blown off, others are stuck to barbed wire. A constant downpour of rain is present, and seemingly built to cover from it are makeshift blindages, some smaller, some larger. A lone FT-17 is stuck, its turret missing. The poor thing fell into a ditch and now sits there without a purpose. The player learns how to pick up items, throw them, open doors, be it in a conventional or unconventional way. We find some ammo for our revolver. Guns I will cover later on, but they're very well done too. The only gripe with them in my opinion is a lack of a bolt-operated rifle in the game. Here the game rewards those who search more thoroughly, explore, teaching them to do so from early on. We're thrown into a quick fight against a group of German soldiers who ambush our protagonist. Luckily we managed to come out only slightly hurt, not without help from a friend of ours who I didn't mention prior, Lambert. He's the one telling us to rush into cover in the beginning scene. The main character's name is Henry, by the way. We take care of the wound with a bandage that we quickly throw together, getting a little shake from an artillery shell falling nearby. In the same room we're introduced to explosives, and their power to blow open doors and clear a building. To finish our small little trench adventure, we get ambushed yet again, though this time the enemy soldiers throw gas grenades and nearly kill us. Lucky that's Lambert around, fetching Henry a gas mask.
Get this on fast, fast! We're dying on the others. We make it out of this hell together. Now follow me. We're nearly there.
The coming day, Henry and Lambert find themselves in safety, seemingly drinking and having a bit of fun gambling. Gambling with what, you might ask? With their fates, of course. They chose who goes on patrol through a game of chance. How smart.
There you have it, huh?
Ah, fate's a bastard. I'm on patrol tonight then. C'est la vie.
What do you know? Something went wrong, because the player finds themselves crawling near enemy lines after the cutscene. So, don't gamble, kids, or you'll end up like Lambert, who we find after a small walk in a sinkhole of some sort. We rappel down and get him some water from the totally clean pond at the bottom. And after miraculously bringing Lambert back up, we get caught out in the open by the Germans, and knocked unconscious from a nearby explosion. That's how the prologue ends. After this, the game tells us that we are now on our own, and we wake up to find ourselves inside of the bunker. I tried and failed not to go into a lot of detail, but this tutorial is amazing. It does everything that it sets out to do without breaking the player's immersion. It doesn't treat you like an idiot, but it doesn't just throw you into a room and tell you to figure things out yourself either. It introduces us to important characters, every mechanic that we will interact with, and it does so in an atmospheric way. Just simply 10 out of 10. Absolute cinema. But what about the bunker itself? I mean, the game has it in the name, it must be good, right? And boy, the bunker really is good. Because the game is short and the size of the map is relatively small, the developers were able to create densely packed and incredibly detailed environments, storytelling everywhere, no purposeless locations. The entire structure, the bunker, is a character by itself. I know it sounds a little wild, and I thought so at first too when I saw different players say this line, but it stuck to me, and as time went the idea grew on me. As you play through the game repeatedly, you will slowly learn every corner. You will be able to navigate in the dark. You will know where to go and where to find items you need. The bunker will no longer be your enemy, it will be your friend. The structure is divided into 6 sections. Central bunker, officer quarters, maintenance, prison, arsenal, and soldier quarters. Each location has its own personality and its own role in your playthrough. On top of that, each has its own visual code. The central bunker contains an enormous tunnel which connects every other sector together. Generally, the walls look pretty sound, and the fact that the administration room sits in this part of the complex means you will feel safest here. Officer quarters are a series of rooms connected with hallways. From far away, they even kinda resemble a home. Each room belongs to a certain officer, and there's also a strategic operations room with a large table under which you can hide. Maintenance is a hellhole. Infested with rats, its walls are a combination of shaky wood and occasional reinforced concrete. There's also the pillbox, the closest you'll get to escaping this place for the next hours. Oh, and don't forget the chapel, it's interesting. Prison feels the closest to past Amnesia locations. Almost like a crypt of some sorts. And it's not empty either, there's a friend waiting for you patiently. Or impatiently and loudly if the beast comes along while you're in there. Arsenal's primary section is a maze of shelves. Look around while you're in there, by the way. There's occasionally ammunitions or explosives just sitting. There is also a flooded passage of sorts, which leads into an older section, not even built by the French. Last but not least, soldiers' quarters, which is a place like none other. Beds stacked on beds, stacked next to beds. The lighting in this part of the bunker is all messed up, meaning that if one lever turns off, all of the consecutive levers will do as well. Make sure the generator is powered at all times while you're in there. Funny enough, if you look where the tunnel into the soldiers' quarters leads you, you will realize it's actually underneath the central bunker. I assume the map is showing it to the side for ease of reading. It's a small little detail that just further makes the bunker feel alive. Talking of feeling alive, the world war is on, and it doesn't suddenly go away when you're stuck in here. Occasionally shells fall on top of the ground above the bunker, shaking the thing to its core, dust falling from the ceiling. In fact, dust is everywhere as expected from an underground facility. You can see it illuminated by the lamps, it's on every chair, desk and object, it's kicked up whenever the monster moves inside the walls. You can hear gunshots still ringing through the hallways as sounds of war slip through cracks. Amnesia the Bunker is incredibly immersive this way. Not to mention that it's still Amnesia, meaning you open doors manually with your mouse, and you can pick up, push or toss most objects that come in view. The entire structure and items within it look raw, unfiltered, a lot of the time makeshift too. The fuel-hungry generator that powers the facility represents it best. It's large and complex, with moving parts, belts. The crank you turn to start it feels heavy. The large dial showing the amount of fuel left growing ever closer to empty. A handwritten message is left near it. Keep on at all times. The fucker hates light. Large part of this feel is due to the shaders and post-processing effects that the game uses, without which it's far more oversaturated, less stylized, and just in general looking silly rather than scary. The work they've put into visuals is astonishing. There have been many cases where slightly stylized environments look better than realistic ones, and work better for horror too. Dishonored is a great example, but even games like Half-Life 2 fall under this category. Another large thing that I have slightly touched upon beforehand is sound design. A lot of people don't realize how much of a difference good sound design makes when interacting with a piece of media, and Amnesia the Bunker is a supreme example. The main character's footsteps are crisp. They feel loud. Walking up staircases, slopes, concrete, soil, water, crouched up, or running around frantically, each has its own noise and you differ between them naturally. Slowly opening a door into a dark room, hearing the creaks of the poorly held up wood, is just so pure I don't even know how to put it into words. I guess I could much better show it in examples. The main source of your personal light, your flashlight, works on a wind-up mechanism. The thing rattles at the slightest pull, and the giant rat running around in the walls really doesn't like it. This means in extreme situations, when the monster is nearby, the player has to sneak around in the dark, otherwise they're risking provoking the stalker. Pulling out items from your inventory and into your hands is always followed with a specific to that item noise. Likewise, picking up any item is followed with its own distinct noise. Pouring gasoline out of cans is very satisfying. Be it into an engine or onto corpses in order to burn them. The engine itself roars to life when you pull the starter lever. Its humming can be heard from quite far away when it's running too. Sounds like a turbine more than anything. The rats can be heard eating corpses, or screeching when you scare them off with a fire. The lighter in the game is comparable to the lighter from Metro 2033. I don't know why, but I just like it. The lockers in this game sound more realistic than lockers in real life, to be honest. Alright, I don't want to bore you with silly noises anymore. Let's talk guns and explosives. Guns in horror games is a difficult topic. Developers need to make sure to balance them out precisely, or otherwise they might kill the experience outright. Make the ammunition too scarce, the player won't use them. Make the ammunition too accessible, the player will use them too much. The only good horror games with guns on my mind are the Resident Evil series, but they're their own phenomenon. This is why, in my opinion, Amnesia the Bunker genuinely has the best guns of any horror game. Actually, it just has incredible guns in general. Both the Revolver Model 1892 and the Winchester Model 1897 shotgun are perfect examples of good game design. They feel weighty, loud, crude, but robust at the same time. You don't have an interface ammo counter, instead you check the gun's chamber to see how much ammo is loaded. You load each bullet into the gun individually too, and you have to unload the spent casings after the shooting as well. The game manages to turn the guns into tools more than weapons, since your revolver has the ability to blast blocks from far away or trigger explosive barrels, whilst the shotgun is powerful enough to blow open wooden doors. By introducing enough of these use cases into the environment, the game makes the player always second guess themselves before making a shot. The likes of, should I really shoot the beast? I could use this bullet so much better for that lock later on. Or, should I shoot the lock open? What if I'll have nothing else to fend the beast off with? This kind of second guessing, being unsure about your decisions, makes your guns, items that are supposed to make you feel safe, into anxiety-inducing pieces of metal. I love it. There's all of these tools, weapons, but how do we use them? How to survive the bunker? In a couple of words, be fast, clever, and inventive. Improvisation on the spot is key. The player will meet a range of obstacles, be they traps or living, breathing creatures. Most of the tripwires in the bunker were set up by the soldiers back when they were alive, in attempts to battle with the beast. They failed, of course, but the leftover tripwires still kinda serve their purpose. They are dangerous to you, yes, in any shape or flavor they come in, flares, gas, fragmentation or flame, But the beast isn't invulnerable to them either, occasionally tripping one and getting all mad. They also come in handy later on once you acquire the bolt cutters. This handy pair of blades allows you to cut the wire and safely take whatever item was strapped to it, being a reliable source of grenades closer to the end of your run. All I'm going to say, be careful with opening doors in unexplored areas of the bunker. Wait, that scratching, I know it's the rats! These critters, absolute pests, you will come to hate with your guts more than the beast itself. The trenches outside are packed full of them in every crevice, yeah, but the bunker seems to have some other kind, species. They're bigger, angrier, and by God are they times more hungry. You first meet rats inside the maintenance area, and the small sign saying "Rats, keep out" does not do them justice. They will slowly start appearing in the bunker after the first sighting, mostly found snacking on corpses and packs. If you get too close, they will start screeching at you, making the big guy very mad. And if you still decide to come closer, they'll jump at you and bite at your ankles, causing minor bleeding. This would be annoying enough already, but it gets worse. Once you're slightly bleeding, the rats will follow the scent of the blood and consequently you. Once they come close, they will either begin biting at your ankles more until you die, or screech loud enough to get the attention of the beast to your location. And trust me, these things don't hesitate to follow you across the entire bunker, so the only way to deal with it is to bandage up and waste precious medical supplies. Only thing these bastards are afraid of is fire, and you better say thanks they are. You can dump fuel over corpses with the cans that you'll find lying around, burning them to a crisp to make the rats lose interest in them. You can also craft torches from a rag and a stick, though beware, these don't last for long and only clear your path temporarily. And of course, if you're not afraid of wasting a firebomb on a corpse, you can blast it, setting the critters ablaze and dealing with the corpse at the same time. Makes a heck ton of noise though. Why care about the noise that you make in the first place? Well, because there's a thing actively hunting you throughout the playthrough. It's time to address the elephant in the room. Or rather, the enormous rat. Or the stalker. Or the beast. Or the fucker. It goes by many names. This creature will be your main enemy. It will search for you, chase you, and the higher the difficulty setting, the more prominent its presence will be. At the highest difficulty, it never even goes away. You can only stun it. To combat the thing, you'll have to keep the lights on and make sure there's enough fuel in the engine. Fuel can be found lying around in cans, as previously mentioned. It can also be poured over into bottles, but this is not very sustainable, and at some point you'll run out of natural fuel cans. This is where that little bit about pouring it into bottles comes into play, because in the maintenance area you can find a giant tank full of fuel, and with enough wine bottles you can keep the engine running for a long time. Just make sure to keep yourself safe during fuel runs. But say the lights are out, or maybe you've made too much noise even with them on, and the thing comes out of its burrow. How do you survive? Keeping it short, again, improvise and be clever. If there are tables, you can hide underneath them. Wardrobes, get inside and stay quiet. It doesn't want to leave you be, throw a flirt to distract it and sneak away into the safe room. Catches you, shoot it in the face with a gun, or throw a grenade underneath its bed, scorch it with a firebomb, gas it. There's many options. All you have to do is attempt at staying calm, which is admittedly very hard, especially in your first runs. The thing is loud, sounds sick, ill, it coughs, gargles, growls, whimpers, sniffs, its footsteps are heavy, and it looks on fire too. Its skin is flaky, pale, full of rashes, it's abnormally large and fits into abnormally small crevices, yet it's human too. There's a face, humanish lanky fingers, and its claws are simply overgrown nails. You can tell it's in pain, not just because of how it sounds, but because there are 2 bayonets stuck in its chest, probably from past fights with the soldiers. The shape is unnerving, the long neck, the way its eyes glow in the dark. If you look into the concept art, you can see how the devs tried their hand at making this human-like appearance. Some arts were grotesque, more monstrous, while others leaned more towards this malformed human look. Overall, I think they nailed it. It's horrific. I love it. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Absolute peak. I screamed.
Open the fucking door! Open the door! Open the door!
I'm so done. I'm so done.
You need a cheese.
Oh wait, there's still minutes left in the video? The video wouldn't come if not for this location. I fell in love with the blind shotgun man, seriously. The scene that frictional games have crafted is perfect. If you explore the arsenal, you will find a cave doorway. It leads you to a partially flooded room. A little bit of brainless running around, a turn of a crank, and the pump will chuck the water down, allowing you to pass through the previously inaccessible crevice. Here, far away from the beast's claws, you will be met with Roman tunnels, which the player would have learned about by reading the notes scattered by soldiers. Before entering, though, I hope you're not anxious to look at people's eyes. That's a terrible pun. Stuff gets really weird the deeper you go. Weird rocks, noises, the atmosphere changes, and then suddenly someone's voice. Possibly the first time you hear it in the last 2 hours.
Can't see the sun for all the black smoke. Can't see the dirt for all the dead folk. Can't see the ocean. Can't see the trees. So here I stay, down on my knees.
Who could it be but the owner of the eyes you just saw? Soldat tu saw before. And he has gone completely mad, mumbling some nonsense and walking back and forth in the dark. With a loaded Winchester, no less. And since we need to pass through the location to grab a detonation lever, we have little choice but to fight him. Toussaint is blind, so he mostly relies on sound and some sixth sense to find you. This gunfight is fast, frantic, somehow more realistic than gunfights in most actual shooters. It only takes some 10 minutes, but it stayed in my mind for far longer. And so we kill him. The last human beside Henry to stay alive. You can also theoretically leave him be, not engage, just shatter the door with a weighted brick, but I prefer to put him down each time. I think it's more human than letting him roam the hallways alone for weeks on end. If you look around a bit more thoroughly while in the location, you might find an interesting little passing. Moving away the bricks and climbing through the hole, you'll emerge on the other side to a very familiar sight. It's the crater from the beginning. The sky above your head. A war still raging on up there. Oh, huh. Lambert's dog tag and a small toy. Neat. Alright, let's talk about the lore, which I think was nailed perfectly too. Frictional has been previously criticized for making Amnesia's story too convoluted, messy with different dimensions, godlike beings, mystical powers. Amnesia the Bunker changes the formula. It chooses to be more grounded while also connecting itself with the series past, which means that both newcomers and veterans will be satisfied. I'll tell you right now, the notes you'll find lying around are very much interesting and easy to read. You will pick up on the story naturally and connect the dots together as you progress. Just don't be afraid or lazy to read through the papers. It's worth it. Trust. Alrighty, let's wrap things up. You've sat through quite a bit of my apps, so this part won't really have much going on visually. I assume at this point you either have the video playing in the background or sleeping. Either way, there is one more thing to mention. The shell-shocked mode. Quote directly from the game. Extreme difficulty. Masochists only. Recommended for players who want to pull out every trick in the bag. Holy hell, this mode is hard. I haven't been able to beat the game yet with it. What does it do? Well... it combines each little bit of difficulty the game has to offer, cranks it up, adds a fuel cost to each save you make in the save room, makes the stalker be out at basically all time, makes the game not pause while you're in the inventory, makes you not heal from bandages but only from medkits, makes you not start with the revolver, instead get it from a random locker, randomizes the locker locations, adds a code lock to the fuel storage, reduces the save room area, and lastly turns every resource at your disposal scarce. Fuel, ammo, torches, grenades of any kind become hard to come by. Phew, what a mouthful. With the game's runtime being some 3 to 2 hours in this game mode, you can wholly compare it to roguelikes and such, and some people treat shell-shocked mode as exactly that. Definite final challenge that Amnesia the Bunker has to offer, replayable and anxiety-inducing. Alternatively, it's a way to squeeze out a playthrough or maybe 2 more out of the masterpiece of a game it is. Oh, and really for the last, the game has mods and you can make shell-shocked even freaking harder, basically revamping and rebalancing the game into a completely new one. Or add 30 fast better. Please buy or download or whatever to play this game, I beg.